Australia-focused mining company ECR Minerals has just announced a major board shake-up and a conditional fundraise of £580,000. Nick Tulloch has been appointed as Managing Director, along with Mike Whitlow, who has been appointed Chief Operations Officer. Mike joins me this evening to give some more background on what in geological terms adds up to a pretty seismic set of developments. Good evening, Mike.
Hi, Al. Good to be back. Nice to speak to you.
Good to speak to you too. So, Mike, these board changes and the conditional fundraise announced today have gone down pretty well with the markets. Can you talk us through the rationale behind these changes?
Yeah, we think if we're going to make, there's going to be a change in the company and a change at senior level in management, then if there's any outstanding requirement to raise funds, that should be done immediately and as quickly as possible. We don't want to leave any doubt out there. We don't want to create a market where perhaps we're commenting about the business and then we're raising money after it. And we want to manage expectations is the message I'm sending out right now. We think expectations haven't been managed for quite a number of years, and we think it's important to show a bit of integrity in doing so. It's highly encouraging to see that the shares are trading up, people in the market are getting behind it, and there's a bit of excitement about that. We also acknowledge that the shareholders out there that might feel a little bit disappointed in this raise, but it's one of the necessary evils, and it's a phrase I've already used that I'll repeat it. This is small cap markets, unfortunately, but we worked tirelessly over the weekend. Nick is a great guy. He brings a lot to the table, and we've been able to wrap this up without having to use any third parties. We're grateful to our advisors. We understand that there might be some disappointment there, but what's important right now is the shareholders of ECR, and we've got to be as lean as we possibly can do in order to get the very, very best out of it. And that's our intentions moving forward. We want to change a culture within this business, and this is the start of it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, of course, the GM announcement out today. Directors were also involved in the fundraise too, Mike.
Yeah, it's hugely encouraging. We've seen public comment where the investment community want to see directors getting behind, putting the money where their mouth is, and supporting the company. I think they've shown a great unity. There's a good energy, actually. We've been speaking pretty much, twice and more so daily over the sort of 4 or 5 days that we've been communicating. A lot of dialogue, a lot of support, and things are certainly picking up, and it's incredibly encouraging to see that those guys now have decided that they want to get in as well. So we've got a real sort of alignment with shareholders and a good unity amongst us, and long may that continue.
Absolutely. So of course ECR has a number of projects in Queensland, Victoria. It's got its own. It's got property in Australia. It's got several drill rigs, and of course an asset in the Philippines too. So this is an exciting collection of, or it's an exciting asset portfolio, isn't it?
I think if you sat there and you sort of looked at what the NAV of ECR is, it would be, many times higher than the valuation today. But the reality is, and I'm going to stay true to myself, is all of these things are really only worth what other people are prepared to pay. So I like to focus on the things like accumulated losses, 73 million at MGA, the subsidiary out in Victoria. Is there something we can do about that? Let's look into it. Let's look at the property that we've got on our book and the valuation. Is there interest there? Is there an opportunity for us to generate more cash from a disposal and therefore give us additional optionality? We've got a drill rig, which is it's not quite brand new in the box, but it's certainly sitting out there. And again, got quite a material valuation to it. So, there's actually inventory and kit here that I think the market has really sort of become totally disconnected with the opportunity here. And you're right, we've got some interesting assets. The assets up in Victoria, there'll be no ground untrodden. We're going to have a review of that. We're going to have an internal review of all of the assets, including where we're spending money, because it's imperative that we streamline this business and the money that we've got is preserved as much as we possibly can to get into the ground so we can unlock value, because that's how we're going to see ourselves get up the value chain. And of course, we've got the assets up in Queensland, and there's a lot of activity out there as we speak. So, I'm sure that investors are going to learn more about the opportunities that we have within the business. I've got to be careful what to say at this point, and we are doing an internal review too, so it'd be unfair of me, to sort of speculate too much on it. But we're starting to shape the company very quickly the way that we want to see it, and that's sleeves rolled up, everybody sort of pulling in and rowing in the same direction and getting behind this business with a view to be able to get up that value chain and make it work. Some people have said 580,000. Will that take you far enough? Well, look, we could have raised considerably more than 580,000. It's important that there's a balance between how much you bring in and then that dilution. So we're giving everything consideration here, and we're confident that the funds that we've got internally with the additional funds today and our unrealized assets within the business are going to put us in a reasonably punchy position. But that remains to be seen, and judge us on delivery rather than sort of parroting what we say we're going to do, because again, many companies have done that for quite some time and failed quite miserably. So I'd rather be judged on what we deliver rather than on what we sort of suggest.
Well, if today's performance on the market is anything to go by, Michael, or shall I say Monday's performance is anything to go by, you've already got a strong endorsement for the management change and the fundraise too. So I think there's an awful lot of investors out there very much looking forward to hearing about the next steps you're going to be taking.
No, absolutely, and I'm going to allocate a fair bit of time to actually speak with shareholders. We've spoke with or some of the sort of bigger shareholders, and we've got appointments already scheduled in to speak to the remainder. It's important. Everybody counts here. I'm going to spend a fair bit of time communicating with these people. It's a busy week or two ahead. So for anybody who's out there, we're acknowledging you. We know that you might be feeling a little bit sore after the last sort of year or two. No investor's too small. We'll be addressing it. Just give me a little bit of time to get this review done and start trying to, get the wind in our sails and take it in the right direction. And then we'll get back to those guys. We're really, really grateful to the existing shareholders. I'm thrilled to welcome the new guys in as well. It's been an incredible couple of days, and long may that continue.
Excellent, Mike. Well, look, we wish you every success in your new role, and many thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Likewise, Al. Thanks for your time. It's much appreciated.